Hello.
Welcome to the Must Love Yarn cast. Let's do it that way.
Yeah,
Why
sure.
not? Instead of the double yarn.
Right. We're not fishing, though.
No. Must Love Yarn cast. We are a yarn cast about yarn,
Perhaps,
knitting,
obviously, right.
occasionally for me crocheting, though that tends to be more funny than serious.
I don't know, you
maybe
produce stuff,
sometimes.
which is more than I can say about crochet.
Right?
So, yeah.
And we bring this to you from our yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont, where you can buy most of the things that we tend to talk about online or in store at mustloveyarn.com.
Mm-hmm.
We're also on social media, so you can find us on Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook, and come check out what's going on.
All those things.
Yeah. And I'm Angela.
I'm Jen.
And you can find me on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
And you can find me on Ravelry as J. Arbuckle and on Instagram as Jennifer_Arbuckle.
Yep. And with my normal caveats, my personal page, so you're going to see other stuff there besides knitting and occasionally crochet content, but it's a decent mix, I think.
Yeah, so I feel like I spend a lot of time on Instagram just blocking strangers, but
a little bit of that.
Strangers who are obviously strange would be my description of them.
Yeah.
Not just every stranger.
Or they want to sell you something that doesn't. I'm confused sometimes by the requests I get.
I am also very confused, and yeah.
I got one the other day from somebody that was something related to toddlers, and I was like, I don't even have a toddler. I haven't had a toddler for, I don't know,
I'm afraid
5
to explain
years?
the profiles that I seem to receive. I don't completely understand them all.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine. Block feature's handy. The delete feature's handy.
Yes.
You know, it's fine. All right. So you didn't come here to listen to us talk about this
our
stuff
favorite.
on our Instagram accounts.
That's right.
So we like to start our yarn cast with our pick of the week. And so for new folks, the way this works is we're going to show you a project. We're going to show you a product. We've collected some patterns to show you as well, and we'll link those in show notes for you so you can find them later. And we're going to give you a code, and that code will get you 10% off in our online or in-store for the 2 weeks following when this cast. So 2 weeks from Friday to Friday, which would be the 8th, 7th.
No, Friday's the 8th.
Friday
is the 8th.
Yep. So from September 8th for 2 weeks following that, you can get 10% off of the product that we're going to show you. So that's the way it works. And today we are showing, this might have been
Speaking
one
of crochet,
we could have done at the beginning of the summer, but we were like, whatever, let's show it now. I'm just going to go find out how much it costs because I had not done that yet.
all right. So a while ago, we brought in this paper yarn, which is unique, I would say, but it's also pretty cool. And sorry, I don't want it to be loose ends all over the screen. So it's called Papyrus, and we have, I don't know, 5 or 6 colors of it. And it is, as I said, it's paper, and I don't know if there's yardage or not. 153 meters and 100 grams.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a bunch of different projects, mostly crochet, that one can do with it. So there's just an example of some of the colors that we have.
Awesome. And it is $12.50 a skein, or whatever this is. Not really skein, whatever this is.
A chunk.
Spool? Kind of a spool.
That's a good description. Yeah. So good colors.
Yep. Very nice.
And so sometimes this is a kind of yarn that takes a little bit of inspiration. And so you could make a hat.
You could make a legit hat instead of my helmet hat from last week.
That's right. There's several really cute hat patterns, actually. And then, there's a variety
few,
of
bags. So there's this what's called Sac Riviera,
and then there's also
which is a really cute little scrunch bag that you can make. This one takes a couple of different skeins. You'd need probably 2 probably need at least 2 of these. But it looks like it's set up to stripe. So this one is 3 colors, so you could get 3.
And here you would need 3 and 3 of contrasting colors. So it could be like 3 of a main color and then 3 different contrasting ones to make the different granny squares.
There's this cool, like, those are placemats. So again, this is just called Papyrus placemats. This one uses 3 different colors. That looks like you just spiral them around for the placemat, so that's kind of a cool.
Or coasters, you could do coasters.
You could do coasters too. Yeah, absolutely.
Although it's paper, this is another little basket.
So it's paper,
but it's water resistant.
Okay.
Which is an odd thing to say, but I think because it's been treated, so if it gets wet, it retains its shape and it doesn't,
like
melt
disintegrate,
or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Like paper.
Yeah. So, so it's kind of a fun. Yarn. It's good for mostly for home goods or accessory items, probably.
Yeah, lots of bags, hats.
Yeah.
Not garments, but things
scratchy.
like placemats or baskets, for sure.
Yeah.
So
fun.
Kind of fun.
Yeah.
Something different. We have, as we showed, the sort of collection of colors here, and 10% off with. Why don't we just do YP paper, as to make everybody spell papyrus is probably kind of mean.
So YP paper. So there's 2 P's,
2 P's
next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear.
And that should make it a lot easier. And like I said, I'll list these patterns that we talked about in our show notes in that section.
And there's others on Ravelry as well.
If you search for the pattern or for the paper itself, or the yarn, the paper yarn, you can also see what people have made out of it. Lots of bags, there's a bigger Riviera bag that a ton of people seem to have made.
Yeah.
That seems to be the popular pattern for this. Actually, you know what? I'll link that as well, even though we're not showing it. Just because.
It's like a tote bag. There's a couple of tote bags.
Bigger,
there's a really cute tote bag as well that has, you'll see it, that has flowers on it that uses like the purple and the gray together. It's super cute.
Super cute. So.
Yeah, fun, little different.
Something.
As we slide into fall knitting.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff would make like nice gifts.
Yeah, especially if you're thinking ahead to holiday time.
Maybe teacher gifts or for that hard to make for person. Maybe they don't like wool. Maybe, who knows? We all know people.
Yeah. Yes. I spent a lot of time yesterday. For some reason, we had a run on non-wool yarn yesterday from 3 or 4 different customers.
Yep. So anyway, I will say this is not something you can sit and crochet for hours on end with. The reports are it is incredibly hard on your hands because there is zero give. It's paper. So if you're going to make something, you need to sort of budget extra time. You're not going to be able to turn something out with the speed in which you would a different type of project or a similar project made with wool or cotton. Because you do have to do pretty short stints working with this because of how hard it is on your hands.
That's why I was thinking the granny square bag, which is so cute.
It is cute.
And so trendy right now. Would be great because you could make the granny squares and then you could hook them together and then, it's sort of like one of those kind of projects.
Yeah. Yep. So just, that's sort of my little PSA. Just be aware.
Yes.
But it makes really cool items. So.
Yeah, and sturdy. Like, it doesn't, at first glance, you would be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
this
it's
is
really...
this feels like a hat you would buy. Like one of those sun hats that's like commercially made.
Yeah. Right, and when you think about it, when you're on the beach and an exotic destination and they're making hats for you out of reeds or something like that, or baskets or something like that, I mean, it's the same exact thing.
Oh, geez, that got really stuck in my hair. Okay, great. Good job. Maybe I'll have to wear the hat for the rest of the... Okay.
All right.
And despite the hot weather, we actually are both wearing hand knits today, which is awesome.
Yes,
so
we are.
Jen, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing my version of the Giza top, Gizeh. And so this is a really cute little pattern. It just has these little details on it around the edge of the sleeve and this little V, and then at the bottom it has other details around the hem. I, of course, did a little bit different. So I had this gradient that I wanted to use on a top, but unless you... Getting the armholes worked out is tricky unless you're knitting them flat. And so anyway, so I used a solid color to do the top, and then I added the gradient in. So I obviously did my own version of sort of fading it in. And then, but I like it. It's cotton and linen, and it's just sort of
nice
great
for
summer
when it's
top.
hot.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, indeed. So I think I did this is one of those projects that I might have talked about last summer. I think, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 years ago, but it sat for like 5 years just needing the ends woven in because that's the kind of knitter I am.
Why not?
Yeah,
I mean,
it is what it is, right?
I did discover some ends that hadn't been woven in on the gray tank top. And there it lays. Everything else got woven in, but it was the ones on the inside, like on the back.
Sometimes you miss those, yeah.
I missed them. It was the one where I had to rejoin the yarn because my cat decided it was going to chew the yarn in half. So I forgot that one was there. So I got to go take care of that so I can wear that because it's super hot this week.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice to be able to wear that to work.
Yeah.
So better go do that.
Mm-hmm.
And our mannequin.
What are you wearing?
Oh my gosh, we skipped me. Gosh. I'm wearing Summer Fields. So this is by Kristen Kapoor. It is both a sewn and a knit pattern. So you sew the body. This one's a little bit big for me, but I figured the black one was maybe going to be a little bit too tight and too hot. So I want something a lot looser.
Yeah, drapey.
Scorching out there today. So you sew the bottom, and then you pick up with a really sharp needle the yarn across the top and the back, and you make the front and the back very top of the tank top in knit.
Yeah, it seems kind of daunting or confused or like, what? You pick up the yarn through fabric? But I will tell you this.
Actually, it works.
It was super simple.
It's magic.
Yeah,
like once you figure out there's like kind of a cadence to it and a method and a technique to it, and once you figure that out, it doesn't take very long. You're like, oh, I get this. This makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I was very careful I did mark with on the fabric.
Both times
I did too, because you just that way it's even. So I used chalk.
That like invisible or the chalk or
I can't remember.
Different types of like
marker.
marking pens that you can use for fabric.
For sewing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like every 1/4 inch or whatever, just enough to make sure that I was picking the stitches up evenly. And even then I sort of, also I wanted to, make sure I had the right number across the top. Because sometimes when I'm picking up stitches, I'm sort of
just winging it.
Often, almost every time. But on that, I wanted to be...
Yeah, this was not...
Because it's like front and center on the back and the front, and I just wanted it to be clean. Yeah. So, but it was easy.
Yeah. So I think did we do these last summer or the summer before?
I want to say 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a whole, like the pattern had just released, and it was super fun.
A lot of people. I think we did a knit along.
We might have done a knit along.
A knit a sew along.
Yeah, it was fun to kind of combine the two crafts. Into something wearable and comfortable and nice
I have a second one that's been on our list for a long time because it really just needs to be hemmed or something. I forget what it's not. Anyway, I might pull that out and finish that up.
Yeah. It takes, just a little bit of fingering weight yarn, so it's like a great way to use like some leftovers.
Yeah.
And if you also happen to, I don't know, hoard fabric, like you hoard yarn.
Because it's not, it's like a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Depends on what size you're making, but it's not a huge amount of fabric that you need either. So.
And it's an easy, if you haven't done a lot of sewing, it's a pretty easy sewing project also.
Yep. I mean, the thing that took me the longest was
cutting out the pattern.
Printing off the pattern, taping it together, and then cutting it out. But I had some helpers, so I had a helper.
No, it took me a little while to do that as well.
It took a while.
But I'm a 3-dimensional puzzle person, so
my helper was also 2 years younger than she is now, so it was even more kind of like, so no, it was super fun. Maybe I should see if I can grade a smaller version and make one for her. Mm-hmm. She'd probably wear this, particularly if it was some like fun print,
rainbows or something
on the
unicorns.
bottom. Yeah. I'll file that away. All right.
Yeah.
Because, let's make more work for myself. Okay, great job. All right, so mannequin.
Yes.
Our mannequin is wearing a sweater called Sweet Tart. You might recognize it because I made one of these. But, oh, wow, I just grabbed her boob. That's awesome. Wow. I'm sorry, mannequin.
I don't think
did
she
not mean to do that.
cares. She's pretty relaxed about that.
This
kind of
one
thing.
has the cords on it, the tie cords at the top, which the pattern calls for, which I left off of mine because I was like, those are going to irritate me and I don't want them. But this is the Sweet Tart. It's a great use for like a striping yarn or variegated yarn. I used Feederbrook Farm yarn for my stripes with, I think it was Barocco, the DK. Ultra wool DK and like a really dark charcoal gray. Wow. Here, I'm just in it to win it today. With all the things. So it's, again, really fun. It's a way to use up some yarn if you're like, I have this great like spin cycle, or I have this Schulpel edition 3
and you want to really
know what to
extend
use
it and
with
sort
it.
of highlight it.
And it's fun. And who doesn't love stripes? I love stripes.
Yeah.
So
that one is knit out of Barocco Carousel, which we shared with you before a couple times, and white, the natural color of Remix Light.
Remix Light.
And so you can sort of see, you can start to see the color shifts. The Carousel has fairly long repeats, so you get to see. And so we actually did a little pairing of some other, because of course we have both in stock, and so we thought we would show you a couple different options. So,
and what I will do under the pattern link is link these two yarns for you as well.
Yeah, so wouldn't that be pretty to have that sort of peach color, and then this Carousel, which has like hints of orange and yellow in it, but also blues and pinks and greens.
Yeah, and that's one that maybe people wouldn't necessarily put together, but I think
it'd be really great.
It would be really gorgeous.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Let me get a little closer so you can see the colors.
Yeah, those two together would be really beautiful.
Yeah, and then we did another one. So this part of Carousel, this one of Carousel is kind of a lighter blend of colors again, and then we thought it'd be really pretty with that green. So if you want something that has a darker background with a lighter stripe.
It's a little more contrast. This is, I mean, you could do definitely this in a more subtle pairing.
Yeah.
For sure. So like you could do these together. It's just, it's going to be a lot more subtle. I mean, I think you could even do these guys together.
Very summery.
But it's going to be definitely not as obvious on the striping. So it just depends on how much contrast you want for your stripes. But, that's the thing, like, almost because there's so many colors in this carousel, like, you almost can't go wrong with like what you pick.
And here's an example. So this one has got a million colors in it, and it's really bright and poppy. And then you could either temper it down a little bit with this warm, brown, really beautiful sort of mushroomy color.
Yep.
Or you could do, something darker.
You could almost pair it with that one.
I know, we were looking at that, and that would be sort of really subtle. It doesn't look like it because this one is so vibrant, but it has so many. This one really could go just about anything.
Yeah, you could put a blue with that, like a dark blue or even a light blue,
or white. It would be really pretty
with white
against the white as well.
Yeah.
And then the last one we were looking at. So this is the one that's on the mannequin, and then we did it with a light gray, blue gray steel color, which would be really pretty. And again, this color would go with just about anything.
Like those two together would be really pretty too.
Yeah.
That one would go with any of these.
Yeah. So anyway, just some fun suggestions for people if you're interested. It's a great top. It knits up pretty quick. I think it's pretty straightforward.
I enjoyed it. It was pretty quick for it being a sweater. Super fun. I love the split hem. So it's got a split hem on the side, which just it just helps it fall on the ends haven't been
right
woven
up in there. I think Ariana just finished this yesterday.
Saturday, I think.
Saturday, maybe, yes.
So love the split hem. It just helps it fall on your hips a little nicer. And lay nicer.
Doesn't look quite
without
so
having to do a whole bunch of increases for like the baggy part. Getting my aerobics in between arm lifts. So, yeah.
So fun, and there's some fun. Summer's not over yet, and certainly I know some of you live in warmer climates, and so
and we do.
Summer is never over where you are, so we're
good option. Short sleeve sweaters are always great, and you can actually get a lot of almost year-round wear out of them.
Well, I was going to say, and even that one, you could extend the sleeves if you wanted to.
You totally could, or you just wear a jean jacket over the top of it, or some other kind of jacket,
elbow length sleeves even.
Yeah,
I have that sea glass tee where I made the sleeves sort of elbow length, and it was one day, it was really chilly last week. One night it was really like in the 40s or 50s. I know this is crazy town here in Vermont, but I was wearing that and I was like perfectly comfortable, even though it was a little chillier in the morning and it was AC in the office, but and it was pleasant. So I like that sort of elbow length sleeve.
Yes.
Just enough to keep you warm.
Yeah, exactly.
Without being too hot.
So I have one finished object.
All right, you're up. I have none.
So I consulted with my design team. The design team opted for, this has not been blocked as you can tell. Opted for no buttons. So
good.
Yay! So this got finished very quickly because all I had to do was knit button bands on it.
Yeah. That's pretty with the blue. I like that blue color.
I think it really just kind of
ties
everything together and like tones down some of like the crazy green bright. It's so fun though.
She won't be able to wear it till next week because of the weather.
It's way too hot. This is like a cotton bamboo kind of yarn, which is why it's a little floppier than the acrylic, but it'll be fine. It's all machine washable, which is the end game for children. So very long little cardigan. I have definitely enough yarn to make a second one in the other color,
the opposite
end of the color palette, which is the orange to pink
to purple.
It's a different shade of purple. It's two purples and
it'll be the Barbie version.
Totally. So we'll probably do that at some point. Just because I'd like to use up that yarn, and I don't know what else I would use this yarn for.
Right, especially in that color palette. Maybe you gotta hit while the iron's hot on that one.
I know, right? So that one is done. That is called. I gotta stop doing this. I named it
Arctic Rainbow.
Yeah, but that's my name for it.
Oh.
Not the name of the actual pattern.
Oh.
It's linked in show notes. I've talked about it before.
Oh, I thought you had it linked there. Okay.
It's a cute kids cardigan.
Mm-hmm.
Super easy. Can put buttons on it or not.
Yeah.
Quick. It's like
can
worsted weight.
Change the length or the.
You can totally adjust the length of it. You could make short sleeves on it too if you wanted just a
a little shrug
jacket thing to put on if you're chilly.
Yeah.
Or your kid's chilly.
Yeah.
My kids don't seem to get chilly very often. So there's that. All right. I don't know what that is actually.
You finished it, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No.
Well, you can think about that.
Yeah.
So,
I think I know what that is. And no, I have not finished it.
Oh, I just got this.
Oh, no.
No, it's fine.
So you have made progress.
I have on my Sickety sweater by Alicia Plummer. So I had the front and the back and the fronts, I should say, are finished and joined and even seamed at the side. And so now it's time to knit the sleeves, which are like elbow length lace. So it looks fairly big to me and kind of drapey, which is what I kind of wanted, and it's meant to be that way. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
It's turning out well. Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I haven't even tried it on because I finished this at like 11 o'clock last night, the seams, but I wanted it at least assembled to some degree. So there's two sleeves and then there's a band that goes up and around.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's funny how everybody does things a little bit differently. So in the pattern, it said to, as you were doing the front and back are joined with a 3-needle bind off. And then it's like, and also, make sure that doesn't pull out. While you're doing that, bind off the rest of the neck stitches that you've been holding this whole entire time. And then, of course, when you're doing the band, it says, pick up all the way around. And I'm like, I never understand that. So I always leave these stitches. Why would I pick up stitches if I'm just going to...
I think sometimes because the seam is sturdier.
I know, but I don't like that because the steam rolls.
Right.
And
No,
I
I'm
don't
just...
like,
I
no, I know.
why...
I get it. But for me anyway, everyone can choose to do whatever they want to do. And you can certainly follow the pattern exactly. Anyway, I have left those stitches. And when I get there, I think it will help hold it together a little bit better. Because it is very, very drapey. It's not heavy, even though it's 100% cotton. But anyway, so that's made with Aura Kania Wasco cotton kettle dyes in the natural colorway, undyed. It does have a really nice feel for it. To it for cotton, so
that's a really nice cotton.
And it hasn't been a pain to knit with. I mean, it's 2 strands held together. So actually, it's funny that there's 2 strands because you can't really see that in the knitting. Which, for those that are always wondering about that, they just you don't even notice. Awesome. It just blends itself together.
Awesome. So because I cannot get my behind in gear to wind yarn. I decided to pull out one of my multiple project bags that had yarn and pattern in it of like, oh, I'm going to make this with, and some of it was like leftovers of different things. And I've been wanting to make Alicia Plummer's Woodnote hat for a really long time. It's really beautiful. It's color work. I was like, oh great, look, this can work for the knit along that we're doing. Because remember, Colors of Fall knit along. Remember how I said I was a dirty rotten cheater and I was gonna start my project early. Well, I did the hat, but not the sweater because yarn winding. So I had this brown yarn, which there may be a tag in here, so I can tell you what it is.
Brook, isn't it? Not the brown one. Sorry.
No, the brown one it's like a cashmere. It's leftover yarn from some lined mittens that I made as a teacher gift last year for Christmas. And I had enough of it left that I was like, I can knit a hat out of that, particularly if it's a colorwork knit hat. And I had this Peterbrook yarn that I was like, oh look, those two go together really well. So my plan was to knit this Woodnote hat out of these two. And so I started said hat, and after you do the brim, there's a series of like sort of stripes before you get into the color work. And what became very apparent with knitting the hat was that these two colors are too close.
Yeah.
Too close.
Yeah.
And luckily my brain was firing correctly. And I realized that in the striping section and thought, so my choices here are to either rip this out or just continue with the striping.
Yeah.
And finish the hat. Basically follow the Woodnote pattern and make the hat, but just do it with stripes. Yeah. And I'm really glad I did that. I think it's going to be a really beautiful hat. Just it would not have done well with the color work.
No, you wouldn't have seen it.
You would have
the other option would be above the stripes to change to a different color to get the pattern at the top. But
yeah, but I kind of like this is very marley looking. Yeah. It's very subtle, very very nice.
Yeah.
But as you can see, I'm going to have a ton of this left, and I still want to use this to make the Woodnote hat.
But you could, and then you can just do... Yeah.
Right, so I was looking, picking, like it needs a lighter color, it needs like this color. I was going to say, maybe.
I would put natural color with it. Yeah. Because I think that would be just... Because there's even a little, like when you were holding it up, some of these little greens are close to these greens that I think they might overlap each other. You might not see the pattern.
So I think that's probably, it's going to be, I think we have one more skein of this light color remix, so I'll probably scoop that up. You know, I should probably check my stash to see. I probably have white DK.
You need like 25 grams maybe. Do you have a mini at home that says?
I probably have some leftover ultra wool DK in a white from some other project.
What about the one with the dots on it? That sweater.
Oh, yes. That's Digilpin. I had that earmarked to go with something else.
The white is leftover.
Leftover white.
You need like such a...
No, I know. I know. No, but it's for this part, this base, and this actually takes more. I thought I was gonna... That was the other thing. I thought that I was going to run out of this. I'm in the decreases, so I don't think that I am. And if I did, I would just transition to use this as
and
the
just
solid,
do a little top.
which you can do when you're striping like this.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I still haven't really technically made wood note, but this gives me a feel for the shape of the hat.
Yeah.
Like
well, plus it's, you know,
it's
you can
beautiful.
it's really pretty and soft because of the cashmere. And so
Yeah.
you can either keep it yourself or give it to someone else.
It might be, you know, it might go in the bin for gifts or to donate for like an auction or something because it's machine washable. Well, this isn't machine washable. I always try to use machine washable yarn for stuff. I could put a little note that's like, please don't put this in the washer or it will fit your stuffed animals.
And it will be interesting because half of it will be tight and the other half will be loose.
Right. Well, it could be interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know, sometimes like trust your instincts if you're seeing something that you're like, ooh. And I actually thought that it was even less contrasty when you're out in like the sunlight or in like the brighter light. You can see the striping. It's very subtle, but it's there.
Yeah,
Definitely,
I can see it here, but like
on the screen,
even like 6 inches further away, I was like, it's all one color now.
Yeah.
And then
you can kind of see it there. I like what it's doing. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
Just not what I was expecting. So I have to be able to adjust sometimes.
That's right.
to things.
That's right.
So that's what I've been working on. I've not donated a lot of time to knitting.
I haven't either. I might have put like a row on this sweater, but I don't know if I have or not, honestly.
Yeah.
This is
and did not do the zipper on the helmet bag.
Oh.
Not done that at all yet.
This is my garden gate. I feel like I haven't done much of anything on it, honestly, because I've been very focused on that white sweater. Because I have these trips to California coming up, and I just feel like it would be good to have one of those kind of sweaters. So it's starting to take shape. The color work is starting to show a little bit.
Nice.
But this will probably be the knitting that goes with me because it'll be fairly easy to keep the yoke contained, and it fits really nicely in our little Must Love yarn.
Nice.
Available online from our merchandising section. Or store swag, or whatever we call it. So it'll be fairly easy to bring with me. And once at one point, it's just going to be all stockinette. So it'll just be easy, plain knitting that doesn't, require me to like, take more space that I'm allotted in those nasty tiny planes that are most of the planes these days.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So that's next up. Although I also have several other next ups or rebooting of some things here, but you have other in progress.
I did bring the yarn. So I talked last week about starting Avena, which is the color work.
Oh yeah.
By Jennifer Steingass, and we did a lot of talking about how my Rhinebeck shopping is a lot of looking at Instagram and being like, I want to make that. People are like,
I don't think I'm allowed to shop at Rhinebeck this year. I don't know how that's going to work.
But that's not going to be true.
I have so much stuff in my yarn.
So,
shop at home.
In the Dragonfly Fibers booth, they had a sample that was this pattern. It was a short sleeve version using one of their gradient kits. So that gradient kit is going to be the color work pieces.
I remember this now because it looks like a peacock. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
And also called peacock, which is what reminded me.
And then I just got like a gray. So this is a DK weight yarn. It's a merino cashmere nylon blend. So I was like, if I'm gonna do it nice. So these will go together. This is fingering weight, and I feel like they held it double for the yoke with this.
Okay.
So
at first I was like,
Yep. So this is held double.
Just because it looks so plump. It's a really plump.
It is a very plump.
Maybe it's not as much as it now that I feel it, but it looks really plump.
Yeah, it's very plump. One of the things I love, and this happens every year, I feel like I buy a lot of yarn from Dragonfly Fibers. I love their color palette. I love their yarn. I always come home and it's got like sawdust in it. And it's always because I dropped the yarn in their booth. And their booth is, they got these like wood chip floors. Yeah. And then it sticks like there's like it just sticks to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's on all of them.
Yeah.
Because it's on me. I don't think I've ever got anything in their booth without dropping at least half of my skeins on the floor while I'm waiting in line.
That's because there's 1,000 people in that booth.
Very
at
jostly.
a bare minimum.
This one clearly was the one that was on the bottom. Mm-hmm. So there's my grays.
Pretty.
I have to remind myself that I need to alternate skeins for sure.
Yeah, I can see. I'm looking at it right now. And I can see there's some tonality there.
Yep, definitely worth it. To do that. There's usually at least one of the skeins that I buy that clearly was in a different batch than the others.
It's just a little bit of light here and there. You're going to want to
blend that I think that's going to need to be blended. So all 4 of those have to get wound at one time to allow me to do that more easily.
Right.
So that's, and then also the winding of mini skeins is just tedious. Which is why this project hasn't been started yet.
But it will be all wound when you leave here today.
I'm going to stick it out and just wind up that yarn so I can start the sweater. Because I'd love to get that done before I ride back.
Yeah.
I could probably do it.
Yeah. I dug out my sweater that I bought the yarn for at Rhinebeck last year, bouldering. Mainly because I really love the pattern on it, and the construction of it is really interesting. Mm-hmm. You knit the center back section, and then you pick up on the sides and knit sideways. And so you just knit sideways, and you make the sleeve out of that. So you're not. So it's just a really interesting construction. And there's another picture of it from the front. So I had gotten to this point, and I think I got to this point. And then this is the color, and realized that I had done something wrong on the sides, and so this sounds heartbreaking. But I think, and because it's been sitting,
probably have to rip it out.
I think I'm just going to start over, which is a little heartbreaking. But honestly, it didn't take me that long to do this because.
Is that a bulky?
Yeah. It is, and it's on like size 10s. I want to say 10 and a half, even better. Yeah, so this is a regional yarn from Bat and Kill Fibers, or spun by Bat and Kill Fibers for, it's been rolled up in there for a while. It's called Hudson, from Hudson Valley Fibers. So it's 50% alpaca, 50% Corriedale. So it's actually really soft, and it's really just such a beautiful berry color.
And you had a vision for the color that you wanted for that sweater?
Yes, this is pretty close to the vision I had. This is called mulberry. Oh, that's nothing. There we go, Hudson Valley Fibers. So, so as heartbreaking as it is to start over, I think we'll be happier, because then otherwise I'm going to be trying. And I remember that I was puzzling through, like, something had happened on the sides with the moss stitch that I think was off, and I was trying to figure out if there was something wrong in the pattern or what. But
and sometimes with that stuff, you'll spend more time trying to sort that out than if you just ripped it out and started again. Like, you're back to where you were before without all the headache.
Yeah, and it's a weird moss stitch, so it's
not a traditional moss stitch.
And I think I did something wrong with it. So it's creating a nice texture, which would be fine, but it's not the right texture. And so that's the plan. So that is that's one of the things that so I think my next few projects are going to be digging some things out. And so last time I had talked a little bit about this. This is in a beautiful bag that Ange gave me a few years ago. And so this is the True Colors shawl.
True Colors.
Yes.
We're digging into deep projects now.
Yes, I need to finish some of these things. That's such a beautiful shawl, and I don't know where I'm at. Yeah. I forgot
it's gorgeous,
where I'm at. Oh, look, I'm in the middle of a row. Isn't that a shocker? No, I'm not. I take it back. But so I had gotten this far, and I think that's like all 10 of the colors. I could be wrong. No, because there's some repeats in there. And of course it's lace, so it's very bunchy, but the base color is this gray,
This is really nice.
which has some silk in it, I'm pretty sure, because that's how I roll.
Mm-hmm.
This is another picture of the shawl.
It's
So
gorgeous.
you go from light to dark.
And what did you use for mini skeins? Is that like a just you put
I
stuff
think
together?
I had a fiber optics. I had several fiber optic sets, and I
Okay.
also had bought some yarn when I was in Scotland from
Yep.
Old Maiden Aunt, I want to say,
Okay.
or something like that. I'm sure they're all down here at the bottom. Oh no, let's not lose the
Tag.
sequence.
Oh. Oh no.
Yes, all the colors are numbered, so you can see it's a collection of all my favorite jewel tones.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the reason why it needs to be finished.
Yeah.
It's just,
So many beautiful.
yeah. What's this?
Is that for the gray yarn?
Yes, I think so. Yes. So, Old Maiden Aunt. Yeah, I was right. So that is a 50% superwash merino, 50% silk. It's really,
Yes, that's why that feels so nice.
yeah, and it's got a little sheen to it because of the silk. So, yeah. So, I am not remembering where I left. Oh, look, it's so funny when you dig in an old project bag, the things you find.
Oh, look,
My
it's
row
a
counter.
row counter ring.
I better not move that in case it's on an important thing.
It might be.
Oh boy, so this will be fun to puzzle through and to figure out where I was and what color is which. A little bit of someone in there. So, but I do think it's such a pretty shawl, and I do love all these colors so much. I think I owe it to myself to finish it,
To
move it
do
along.
that one up.
But it's a long-term project because it gets very big by the time
Yeah.
you get to the other end.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Pretty.
But it's always so satisfying when you get those kinds of projects done because
Or you take them back out and you're like, oh yeah, there's a reason
there's
why
a
I
reason
should.
why I stopped or, or yeah, you
It's time to start back up. Yeah.
get back.
Why did I?
Wow, that's really something
know.
spilled in that bag, didn't it? What is
Sand.
that?
I don't know.
Sand? Huh. Something.
A little bit of dirt in there.
Who knows? It is Vermont.
It's been sitting under the coffee table for a while.
Speaking of Vermont and dirt,
Yeah. Oh dear.
my younger child, her latest, she likes to play Would You Rather.
Mm-hmm.
This is her new thing.
That's a fun game.
Well, kind of.
Could be
So her
tedious after a while.
latest question is: would you rather smell like
Oh,
cow manure for the rest of your life or New York City for the rest of your life?
that's a tough call.
I apparently have a family full of country children because they all picked cow manure.
I would choose cow manure probably
Anyway,
as well.
so I thought that was fascinating. Also,
Very Vermonty.
how are you coming up with these questions, child? And okay,
Right.
so that was fun.
Well, she's 7 or 8. 8.
She's 7.
7. Right.
She is 7. So
That's the answer to that question.
every time I feel like I'm on this podcast, I'm like, I'm gonna wind up Michelle's yarn that I just got from the yarn club, and I'm gonna make those socks. So we're on like the 4th version of that because every time a new skein shows up, I'm like, oh, I like that one better.
Yeah.
So this is the most recent. This is
really
the August club yarn. It's called Glow Bug,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really speaking to me right now. Fireflies and blue night sky and fun grays. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna add this to my wind yarn pile because, again, the reason why none of the socks have been started. Haven't wound the yarn.
Yes.
In fact, if I dig through this basket over here, there's probably other yarn that I was going to wind that has not been wound, which is why the socks have not been started.
She's going to be here all day.
I am. That's fine. It actually, winding yarn is one of those things that I feel like I build it up in my head. And
It's
then
never-
when push
yeah.
comes to shove, it doesn't actually take that long. It's just,
No.
it's a little tedious, but
It also is, it's like one of those chores that's kind of gratifying at the end because
you're like, oh, look
at all these nice cakes.
Start a project.
Right.
Right.
Sorry.
So, yeah, so that's fun. But,
Yeah.
so I'm going to start that Avena, and that will get me in the color work cacao. Colors of Fall.
Mm-hmm.
It is live. We had it start for March. Oh my God, September 1st. So we are now at the
Third day.
Third day.
All right.
Fourth day of September. So take a look at that. We have all the details posted up on our Ravelry group. I'm pretty sure I posted that one up there. I was going to post a picture of my yarn all wound up like I'm ready to go, and clearly that has not happened.
But you can do that this afternoon.
I can do that this afternoon. I also had to find the yarn because I wasn't sure which bin it made
I had to go
into.
looking for that pink sweater today, let me tell you. I was like, where did that go? Why is it not in a bag? It's just like on top of another bag of 12 things. So
I'm happy to report that yarn was actually in the bin that I thought it was in.
Oh,
so
good for you.
I'm feeling
Mine was
pretty
in the
happy
room
about
I thought
that.
it was in. Unfortunately, there's a lot of other stuff in that room as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And obviously lots of great color work options. You could do a hat, you could do a sweater, you could do a shawl where the color work is not like on top of itself. I mean, there's lots of different choices there. You could knit yourself a really cute little top.
The shawl that you designed, the Firefly Nights shawl that you designed, I would count that as color work. It's 2-color. It's
There's a whole color work section.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole
Absolutely.
charted section.
Yeah.
On the Firefly theme.
Yes, we're pretty loosey-goosey around here.
We are.
So, know, it'll be fun. Try out, if you haven't tried color work, this is a good opportunity to do it. Maybe pick a hat or some knits or something. Though I will say, doing a yoke of a sweater, if you haven't done color work before, isn't, for most of these patterns we're talking about, you're working with at most 2 colors.
Yeah.
It's not, those are good projects to start
and they're
with.
really, you feel like you really accomplished something.
Yeah.
And it gets you really into the tension management, which is the important part of color work.
I still have tension management when I'm doing color work.
Yeah.
It's not,
I do too.
sometimes it blocks out, sometimes it doesn't. But, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
Nothing's perfect, as I try to tell my children
Right.
over and
As
over
I think
again.
of all of it, like Angie's, technically Angie's cardigan has lots of colors in it. I guess technically that's not color work.
It's not, because it's all the yarn.
But something like this where you...
That's color work right there up at the top. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Striping.
I know, I was thinking about that afterwards. I was like, well, we are loose, but...
Stripes, no. That's not.
Now you crochet yourself a little bag.
Yeah. Now you throw something up there that's mosaic knitting. I'm not going to deep dive into it to be like, well, it's mosaic, not technical, because mosaic looks like color work.
And oftentimes it has a mixture. Sometimes there's a mixture of both.
Yeah. So stripes, no. If it has the appearance of color work, it's a go. That's all I'm going to say. So, get creative. Get creative.
Yeah.
So moving on to upcoming events and other exciting things. We have a bunch of fall classes that have been posted.
Yeah.
A bunch of beginner classes. Still, I think some kids classes. Also some a little bit more advanced classes, but the learn to knit and sort of
learn to crochet
kind of classes seem to be super popular. So we're sticking with those.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. We've talked about the retreat dates. I am in the process of finalizing sort of our schedule and our classes. We're doing a few classes. This is not a class-heavy retreat. We offer them as something fun to do, but it's more about community and coming and relaxing and not jumping from class to class to class to class. It's about relaxing.
We have other fun things.
Unwinding.
Yes.
Doing that. So I'm working on what I would classify as a little bit more of a unique kind of class schedule, not your traditional type classes you would go to for something like this. And I hope you guys, when we make the full announcement, are as excited about it as I'm getting, because I think it's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
Super fun.
We've talked about a lot of fun things.
Yeah. So,
unique ways to make, use.
I think we still probably are planning to launch registration in October, early November.
Yeah.
For a retreat that's at the end of March. So just we're finalizing a lot of details, getting everything set, and then we'll do that registration. So keep an eye out.
Mm-hmm.
Probably we'll announce it here on the podcast first.
Right.
That it's going live on this date.
That's right.
So, keep watching.
That's right.
As I hope people are as excited to come as I am excited planning this. This was fun. That's been a few years.
Yeah.
Thanks, COVID. But
Yeah.
we're coming back. We're going to do it again.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be enjoyable, relaxing, and super fun.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have something to show you.
Okay.
Yes. You have some serious stuff. You do your serious
No,
stuff.
I just was going to say thank you to everyone who chimed in on our survey. It's going to close on Wednesday, so this will air after that. But we really appreciate everyone hopping on there and giving us your thoughts. It's always good, as I said in the survey. We do this about every 8 years. It's not like one of my pet peeves is you walk across the street and someone wants to survey you about your experience walking across the street. And so we are not that place, mainly because who has the time to manage all of that? But anyway, every now and then it's probably good to ask people what they think and see if we can do things, add some stuff in that would be fun for people. So anyway, thanks to those that have responded. And if you didn't get a chance to, or you want to share your opinions, there's a lot of different ways. You can email either one of us. You can email the store at hello@mustloveyarn. So don't hesitate to share your thoughts either down below in the comments. Mostly we were asking, for those that haven't seen it, we were just asking about your experience here, and if there's yarns that you would like to see us selling that we don't have, or kits, or whatever you think that might be missing. We want to every now and then, as I said, it's good. Maybe every 8 years. It's good.
And it could also be you guys are nailing it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
but
we do
there's always room for improvement and always places to adjust or do better. So this is sort of our way of making
Checking
sure.
in.
Just checking in.
Yeah. We probably should do it a little bit more frequently, but that's the way things happen around here.
So we got a lot of mileage last week about the bag helmet bag. And I feel like this little thing can hear. I'm sure, I know it does. I'm pretty sure I have some of those settings turned off, but it still is just kind of creepy at times. So this pattern popped up in your You Might Like field on Ravelry for me.
That's hilarious.
It's called Helmet.
It's super cute, actually.
It is super cute, but it's called Helmet. And it's made with Shopal. And I laughed out loud when I saw that, because if you go onto the pattern homepage on Ravelry, there's a section that says you might be interested in, and it's an algorithm that looks at what you've been looking at. And this popped up, so I'm still trying to figure out what I've been looking at on Ravelry that would get me that pattern. But given that it's pattern named Helmet, and it appears to be like a knitted version of the crochet bag that I was putting on my head 2 weeks ago. It cracked me up to no end.
It's interesting with all the stripes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So really what it is designed for is a liner for a motorcycle helmet.
I was just going to say,
so
that would be my guess. Or a snowboard helmet or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
So when you take it in that context, you're like, oh, that makes perfect sense. So I will link it in show notes,
of course.
In case anybody is interested. The designer used opal, but I think you could use any sort of fingering weight yarn that has sort of interesting patterns. So the Shopal, Sourball.
Yeah.
You could use opal. That's a sock yarn.
Any self-striping.
Sock yarn. This might be too thick. This is a very plump. Her sock yarn is a very plump sock yarn. But you could probably use Michelle's yarn for this. I don't see why you couldn't.
So and the striping happens automatically, probably.
Yeah. And it's knit. I'm pretty sure it's knit in like maybe sections, and then you join them together, like looking at looking at the construction.
Or it's knit like a shawl, like a triangle shawl.
Sorry, we're dissecting the pictures here for construction.
We don't know, so don't listen to us.
Yeah, no, we don't know.
Anne just not bought the pattern.
I have not. I might though, because I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued now. But yeah, there's clearly some, rigid.
Shaping.
What I can't tell is if you knit it in pieces and then put it together, or if it's some like magic construction where you just do it and you have this thing that fits on your head. But I just laughed out loud when I saw that pop up in my feed after our, bag helmet stuff last week. So anyway, yes, that is called Helmet.
Yes.
Super funny. Yeah. I was like, really? Ravelry, you too? You were listening to me talk?
Of all the people in all the world that I could have listened to me and offer me suggestions, Mallory is not my biggest concern.
Yeah. But
there's others that are more concerning.
I figured we'd get a little mileage on it on the podcast. You guys thought that bag helmet thing was funny, so let's just continue it on with what continues to happen. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's right.
Bag helmet.
Right. And I just realized that we have the exact same phone, so we have to be very careful near each other.
Oh, we do?
I think so.
I would know right away because of what my lock screen is.
Mine is a little bit new, so maybe it's a hair bigger. No,
I think it's the same phone.
That could be problematic.
Well, if you pick it up,
my home screen looks a little bit different.
If you pick it up and there's pictures of kids on the lock screen.
Right. If we go home and neither of us can get our phone to open, we'll know why.
Yeah.
Why don't you recognize me?
Right.
I guess I have to put something in the case. My niece was like, "Oh, you can fill that up with all kinds of fun stuff." I was like, "Really? Like,
why?"
I don't know. I thought
really
whatever
want
case
to.
the guy wanted me to buy, but
yeah,
I
just want a normal plain case.
My other case on my other phone, my other phone was white. They didn't have white when I got this. They only had purple, which was fine. It's funny to me that they only have 4 colors in the new phones.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Anyway, having only got, I buy a new phone about every 6 years, so my understanding of how any of this works is suspect at best. But anyway, my other case had a design on it that was prettier than this boring one, but maybe someday.
I mean, I have this particular case because I wanted the mag charger, so.
Yeah. Oh, right. Is that what that does? Mm-hmm. No, that's what my niece told me.
Yeah, that's for charging.
She knows. I know
it's
nothing.
Like you can place it on the magnetic charger. You could probably charge it in your car. I think your car has that.
It does have it, but it always depleted the previous battery. So maybe with a new phone, it'll work
better.
Technology. It's awesome.
Yay!
Obviously,
Technology.
I am not a tech person. But Anyway. Classes, retreat, couple knit alongs. It's kind of getting ready for the fall.
Yeah.
Fall things.
Pumpkin
so I won't be
spice.
here for Vermont Sheep and Wool, which is at the beginning of at the beginning of October.
Yeah.
Usually that first weekend.
I think it's the first weekend in October.
Yeah. I'll be gone that weekend.
I'm gonna try to go.
Yeah.
I have to look at kids' schedules.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff happening on the weekends. Saturday probably is out for sure, so it would be a question of if I can pop down on Sunday.
It's a little bit of a hike from here. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a couple hours, right? So.
And I think there's still a road closed for one way that you can go to get down there. So I think there's a bridge on 302 that's still closed. Mm-hmm. That might be open by October, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to head down. I will probably within the next week or so have a better idea of the fall schedule for the weekend with kids stuff. Particularly the younger one, the fall sports stuff is a little delayed. I already have it for the older one, so just see where we are. If I'm not there, it's because I am at kids sporting events. So, but that's got to do that.
Yeah.
So.
And then we'll be at Will and Folk helping Michelle in her booth at Will and Zanash. And then we'll be there for the Rhinebeck hoopla.
Hoopla. Yes, we will.
It's hard to imagine.
Trying to not buy yarn.
6 weeks.
We'll see how well we succeed.
Thereabouts.
Probably not very good.
It's a little bit late. Maybe it's 7 weeks. I was just thinking.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it feels like it's later. Well, so
it feels like it's really far away to me still, but it's really
last year, because of where the first day of October fell, it happened what felt like very quickly.
Yeah, because it was like and this year I will say it's
much
usually the second weekend, and it's really the third.
No, it's always the third.
Oh, the third. Well, anyway, it messed up another whole series of things that I have in the fall. So that means that would push back till November.
Last year, it
was like 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Third weekend was the same as the second Friday. So I have a standing thing I have to do with the second Friday.
Yeah, right.
And it just like...
Yeah.
It was
and I had to be on a thing.
Yeah,
I was missing an event that I was supposed to be at. We were both, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was not a lot of Wi-Fi or whatever I don't know. We were like literally pulling signal out of the sky trying to run
it was crazy.
our meetings. It was bad.
So anyway, I
was in the parking lot with people streaming in to the opening day of Wolf Oak on either side of me.
I'm gonna have a little bit of a hiccup that afternoon too, but we can talk about it offline.
Okay.
So, yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to block it out completely so I don't have to deal with anything.
Jobs.
Pesky real jobs that keep us employed and able to buy yarn.
Yes, exactly. So, anyway, I think that's about all I've got this time.
Yeah, me too. I need some more liquid.
Yeah,
in my
definitely
cup.
A little scratchy.
Yes.
So thanks for coming and hanging out with us for a little bit, and we hope you had some inspiration or just had some fun and some relaxing times. We're able to knit or crochet a little bit while checking out what we've been up to. But thanks for spending time with us. We know there's lots of choices out there and lots of options, so we appreciate everybody that does stop on over.
Yes, we do for sure.
Yeah. So we will see all of you, I think, in 2 weeks. I think our schedules are going to mush for that.
I think we're tightly scheduled to make it all work. There can be no deviation.
Like German train system. Right on. Very scheduled. So, so happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy other crafting. If you're a weaver or whatever, but yes, happy Labor Day. It is the U.S. Labor Day today, Monday the 4th. And we're back in the saddle tomorrow. Our regular jobs. So
I can't complain. It's a 3-day week for me, so no complaining.
I got 4, but that's fine. So we will see everybody in a couple of weeks.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
You don't want me scrubbing the table.
Attempt number 2
on the yarn cast.
Right. The yarn cast. I mean, I like that everybody enjoyed our weather chitty chatty yesterday.
Had the windows down in my car because it was so nice out today.
Wow, my hair's just all over the place.
But you've got a little pin that holds it. Mine just goes.
It's a weekend. And I was debating whether I should shower and fix my hair this morning, and I opted to not. So
I did shower.
You guys are looking at bedhead, which with short hair sometimes can be more entertaining than not.
Right.
Just depends. So,
all right. How was your brother's visit? Good?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
Good weather, I think, mostly.
It was mostly, there was a couple rainy days.
Yeah.
Or where it was like threatening that it was going to rain, and so it was kind of cloudy. Mm-hmm. But it was fine. It's been, again, I mean, I think what they did the totals for July and August, it was like 22 inches of rain for July and August for here, which is ludicrous. Yeah. There's just no
Vermont, the new rainforest.
Yeah. And then now they've issued us heat advisories for like today through Wednesday because it's going to be in the 90s.
All of our summer, all of our normal August weather is going to be here the first week of September.
So I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, crazy. I do kind of, but
we do know. We all know. No one wants to talk about it.
Right.
Or too many people.
So it's just, awesome. Glad that I have not taken the air conditioners out of my window because I feel like I'm going to need it the next few days.
Yeah,
And
I do not have any air conditioning, but that's okay. Sorry, I forgot what I was wearing today.
That's okay. I just,
Excuse me while I peruse my...
I put my foot down about things like that because I can't sleep, and if I can't sleep, then I'm really cranky.
Yeah.
And I just find it really unpleasant. I don't deal well with the heat at all.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I deal fine with the heat. I do not deal well with the humidity. So if it turns out it's really dry heat the next few days, I'm probably fine.
Yeah. It's supposed to be warm and sticky, is my understanding.
That's kind of what I figured, because that sounds about right.
Go back to the office tomorrow where it's nice and air conditioned. So.
Yep, my office is air conditioned too. I'm just looking for the shirt in my project so I can make sure I have the name correct as well.
Something Fields.
Yeah.
I think I have one that's in the simmering notes on our...
There it is. Summer Fields.
Yeah. So the funny story here, and I've already had this conversation, but we'll share it with you, is I almost wore my Summer Fields top today as well. And as I was ironing it and contemplating what I was going to wear today, I was thinking, if I wear this, Angela wears hers too. So I guess if I'd worn it, maybe you wouldn't have worn yours. But anyway, it's just funny. We're not twinsies today, but we were very close.
No, we almost.
Clearly did not actually compare notes before we...
No, we don't. We don't. And our mannequin is wearing sweetheart.
Yeah, we're pretty well organized. We spent 40 minutes wandering around the store getting ready to do this, and we're still making notes.
We just, we're a mess. It's Monday morning, not our normal podcast time frame and normal podcast day, but just we both aren't working today, so it's just like...
Yeah.
So here we are. Yes, no, visit with my brother was nice. We went to Fort Ticonderoga.
Mm-hmm.
They hadn't been over there before, and the corn maze was up. And it's just a nice place to let the kids kind of run around.
Yeah.
Though I declined to do the corn maze, I just waited for them because it's really hot in those corn mazes. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 70 degrees and, like, overcast. Like, there's something about, like, I think the corn stalks retain heat or just hold it in because it's hot in there. And all of the other adults that came out were like, it's hot in there. And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm sitting out here.
Right. Next time you can follow my lead, people.
Done it before.
I have learned from the experience.
Been there, done that.
Right,
Didn't need to do it again this year.
Right.
So that was good. We just, we went to like Branbury State Park and just let the kids play around in the water and kind of hung out and then just spent, one afternoon just kind of like wandering through Middlebury a little bit and just kind of hanging.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places.
Yeah, though we were, we had made plans to like meet at Mad Taco in Middlebury to have lunch because there's very few places in Middlebury that are open for lunch anymore. Yeah. And some of the more regular ones, this is the time of year right before school starts for Middlebury College that they take like time off. So there were even less. But Mad Taco was closed because I didn't think to check their website or their Google
I've gotten to the point
first.
now where I Google everything before I leave because it's a little unpredictable and I can't really keep track.
They were closed due to the flooding.
Oh, yeah.
So not the first round of flooding, but the round of flooding in Middlebury where it rained like 6 inches in like 2 hours.
Late July.
And it was like stormwater apparently that like they just, and so they're a basement thing next to the river. Yeah. And they got completely flooded by the stormwater. And are closed because they're trying to rehab flood stuff. Yeah. So no Mad Taco, which was very sad because it's really good food. Yeah. Delicious. Yeah. Delicious tacos.
Yeah. I don't really remember what I've done. I had some friends come and visit. I guess it was last week, Monday. Yeah, they came Monday afternoon. Friends of mine from college who I have not seen since before COVID, so that was really fun to hang out with them and catch up a little bit on all life things. So They're from New Jersey, but they have a little place in southern Vermont, and
cool.
that they have just bought in the last year or two. And so, but they wanted to come up and go to Burlington, so we went into Burlington and had some lunch down by the water, and then wandered around a little bit on Church Street, and then we went to end of the day at Burlington Beer Company and had
Nice.
Yeah, which was fun. I hadn't been there, and it's huge. I was
Is it
shocked.
is it on Pine Street?
Yeah,
Okay.
Flynn. It's on Flynn. So it's
okay.
Switchback is right next to it, and then Burlington Beer Company. But it's
Okay.
like, their distillery, but it's also they have a big menu and
That's cool.
huge space, really, and with outdoor space and indoor space.
Because everybody talks
Yeah.
about zero gravity on Pine Street.
Yeah.
It's like for the same thing. So it's interesting that there's a second.
Oh, there's a whole bunch because
A whole bunch
Switchback
of
is
other-
right there
yeah,
as well,
okay.
and then across the street from Zero Gravity is. I just drove past it because we were having a conversation about which
Right,
beer
there's-
place
yeah,
to
there's
go.
another one.
I can't remember the name
Yeah.
of it now, but yeah, I like that whole section of Pine Street quite a bit. When we were looking at trying to move our office from where it is now, and we are moving in December, but around the corner in that little town that we're in now, rather than down there, which is where I really was trying to. I thought
There's a lot going down, like
There's
tortilla flats, and like
so
it's
much
like
fun
there's
down
so
there.
much
Yeah.
action going on down there on that Pine Street area.
Yeah,
The Hula building, like that whole.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the farmers market is down there now. So, and they have Friday night stuff. So yeah, there's just a lot. And I thought our young people would enjoy that, but apparently they
Wanted to stay up where you guys are.
yes, right off the interstate,
Well,
easy
you know,
access. Our
whatever.
people come from
All
45
over.
minutes in all directions. So I guess being there at the interstate is, a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The traffic coming in and out of Burlington, Vermont. I was like, really?
It's not that bad.
There's traffic, but like none of you have normal schedules.
Right.
What?
Right.
It's not like we're a 9 to 5. Not really.
Right.
So
That's good.
Anyway.
And then the other big event that happened at my house in the last 2 weeks, school started.
I was like, I don't
I
know.
don't know, what is it?
I knew the
starting.
school had started, but I
My
kind of
kids
forgot
are back
about
in school.
Yeah.
I am delighted.
Right. Yeah. Yes, I can imagine.
It's very excited. Actually, it might be more exciting for my husband because he works from home. So
Yeah.
he's been sort of managing
Yeah.
the no camp situation
he's
for like
excited.
the last 3.5 weeks. So yes, I think he was very excited.
Well, plus just having routine, like even with camps and things,
routine
it's
is
like 1 week you're
so-
here, the next week you're here,
Yeah.
the third week you're here. I mean, it's just not.
We kind of put
Yeah.
our kids in one camp for the summer.
Oh, that's good.
So they were
Yeah.
in the same place all the time,
Yeah.
except for the couple of sleepaway camps that my older one went to. So there was some level of consistency, but those
Yeah.
ended at the
Yeah,
August 4th.
yeah.
Like it was like what? Like,
Yeah.
why?
On the other hand, going back to school for like 2.5 days and then having
I
today
know.
off. I mean, it's just like really like.
Well,
why
I
didn't you
kind
just
of
start after Labor Day.
figure. Well, I've always thought that they do it so they have a 3-day week and then a 4-day week and then 5 days. It's like to ease everybody in. Like that's the only explanation that I have for why they do it that
I guess
way.
as someone who worked year round,
I know.
kind of hard for me to understand.
Right.
And when I was a kid, we started after Labor Day. 'Cause
I know, we did
that
too.
was just easier. I
We
mean,
did
I guess
too.
that's not 100% true. Maybe we did start because I did some sports in high school, so I
So
guess
you
I was
started
back early anyways.
earlier.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
So I got one kid in middle school, which means new school.
right.
Which seems to be going very well.
Mm-hmm.
He enjoys the higher level of autonomy that one gets when they are in a 7th through 12 school versus a K through 8 school.
Oh, I forgot. So he's
He's a different school.
no, I knew that,
Oh.
but I wasn't thinking 7 through 12.
Yeah,
so.
it's 7 through 12. So
Mount Abe is. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they have a middle school wing and a high school wing.
Oh, okay.
So
I
the
guess
kids
I
are
didn't know that.
separated,
Yeah.
but they're they
Yeah.
treat the middle schoolers.
Yeah.
It looks like a high school and
Yeah.
it runs like a high school.
Yeah.
So they have different classes. They have it's
Yeah.
it's definitely a different
Yeah.
program than
Yeah.
elementary school,
Yeah.
which is good. He
Yeah.
was ready and it was time.
But
and
now your kids go.
in two different directions.
Yeah.
It's okay. The buses are weird here. So I take my kids to school, but my older child can catch the bus that goes to the middle high school at the elementary school. So there's buses that run down
Yeah.
and they run. So it's the same time. I just drop them both off at the elementary school and he gets on the bus and goes to middle
Oh,
school and
yeah.
she goes to her school.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes the bus home
Yeah.
right now, and she goes to after school. So
that might actually be a big improvement.
It is.
General.
It's fine. He's home. I pick her up on my way back through from work.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got some sports stuff that's later in the evening, but it's not right after school. So, yeah. Yeah.
It always makes it feel like fall when school starts. So even though the weather's hot. And
the weather. I mean, this is normal. I feel like
the leaves are changing.
I know.
They're starting to change.
I feel like we've had some pretty hot Septembers the last few years. So that was kind of the joke that it was raining all summer and it's going to be like 90 in September. And here we are. Here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Yay. I know we tried to do a campfire last night. And the mosquitoes were, wow. I lasted about a half an hour, even with bug spray.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nope, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm peacing out. I'm going inside. Like, clouds of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you got settled and everybody didn't move, they would kind of calm down a little bit. And then somebody would move and like clouds of mosquitoes, like, everywhere. They're coming out of the grass. Like, it's so wet.
Yeah.
Wet.
Yeah, I was intending to do some landscaping, yard work this weekend because it was going to be beautiful. And I just cannot bring myself to leave my screen porch.
Nope. If I had a screen porch, that's where I would be.
So bad because, but meanwhile, the weeds are like rampant. And finally, after a year and change, the landscaping people are coming to do my landscaping project this week. And so, of course, you feel like you should tidy up a little bit before they get there. Well, there's a couple beds that they're not touching. And so I was thinking I could at least tidy those up. But I was like, it's so buggy. I can't.
It's awful.
Stand the thought of being out. Even in the middle of the day. Like, I walk out to the car.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like...
we used to live in Brandon, and Brandon in Vermont is notorious, like awful mosquitoes, like even in the middle of the day, like it's very swampy.
Yeah.
And we lived kind of near where the high school is, and that whole area down there is just like swampland, so it's like mosquito central. Right now, the mosquitoes at our house are worse than I ever saw them down in Brandon.
They're definitely terrible. Horrible. I have to walk through like 3 feet of grass. I have an electric car or plug-in, and so as I hang up my electric plug thing every day, there's like 3 feet of grass and every morning, and I wear sandals most days, and so I'm just like sprinting over that 3 feet to get back in the car before they
attack you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
It's been damp this summer.
So damp. It's awful.
Yes. We had some visitors here in the store yesterday from New Jersey, and I was like, well, you picked the right week to come because I think this is going to be the nicest weather.
Yeah.
I know we said this last time too, but it's continued over the ensuing 2 weeks to still also be
very
the
rainy.
Longest stretch with, I think we've gone 2 days without rain.
Yeah. And not just like a little drizzle. That's the thing. It's not like it's just a little, like, there's a little bit of precipitation and then that's it. And they have to count it. Like, torrential downpours. I was driving in one last week.
Yeah.
On a road that I drive every day and I'm super familiar with, I almost had to pull over.
Like, you're like, I don't really know where I am.
I can't see the road. Luckily, I was on Route 7, so it's wide enough, and it has a white line on the edge.
Yeah, right.
And that was the only reason why I didn't have to pull over. If I had been on, like, Mount Philo or a dirt road, like, I would have had to stop. Like, couldn't have seen.
Yeah, there was one day, I don't know where I was. I think I was here, or coming back from town last Saturday, and it rained 3 times on my way home. Like, torrential rain where I almost had to pull over. I was like... Okay.
Really?
Just had enough. I'm kind of done.
Really?
And as a result, we all have these sort of wheezy, allergy-ridden homes. And
super out. So I usually don't have allergy problems in the fall. Maybe a little bit when the goldenrod really gets going, but not. And it's awful.
And I've decided I have to wean myself off my everyday allergy medicine, so I'm doing some homeopathic stuff instead.
I'm trying to not take it, which is why I sound the way I do. I should probably just give in and do a better job at taking it.
Well, I've decided that I feel exactly the same as I did when I was taking it, so therefore I don't need that. That's not solving anything. So we'll see if the homeopathic stuff starts to work eventually.
Yeah. So that's
that.
more weather, school. So you guys, might get to see more. My social media has been really quiet lately because
it's funny, like, you're
been
busy doing stuff,
doing
and
other things.
even when my friends were here, I forget to take pictures because I'm just enjoying their company and doing stuff. So
I took a bunch of pictures. My brothers and his family are not
they don't want to
really on social media a huge amount. They don't post pictures of their kids, and so like I wasn't just
you don't need to.
Too many pictures with multiple kids. They have 2 kids, and so like with all the kids and just it's fine. We'll start back up again. I'm gonna have to
next weekend for
find
me.
some more
Beginning of my September sojourn.
Yeah, I'd have to find some more travel, like, sports projects, because I feel like we're going to have some sports stuff between my 2 kids to be trucking around to, so...
And I need conference and plane knitting.
I'm going to have to get these socks that I keep threatening to make, like, the yarn wound up, because that's, like, the perfect...
I was
knitting.
thinking about what to... so I'm going to Maine next weekend, Friday, to... help my friend close her cottage, and then I come back, and then next Thursday or Friday, I forget which, I leave for a conference in San Diego for the weekend, and then I come back, and then I have a weekend in between, and then I'm back in Monterey for 4 days.
And then Texas, right?
To Texas from there. So, a little bit of plane time.
So Jen, I'll have to check our schedule too and see what
I think it all works, actually.
Oh, it does? Okay, cool.
It all kind of works, which is...
amazing.
Miraculous. Yeah. Just slither through there until we get to Rhinebeck.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. It'll be good. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to all those trips, although, like, and so part of me was like, you should be doing all this stuff this weekend, like, getting ready, but part of me is like, I'm not going to be in my house for the next month, really, except for to, like, fly
in and out.
So,
yeah.
So that was my excuse for reading and knitting all weekend.
Yeah.
And actually, in fairness, I was here yesterday, and so, always interrupts the weekend a little bit.
I feel like I've been doing a lot less knitting, and part of it was I've not stalled out. I have to wind yarn. I don't know why that's my kryptonite right now, but like having to actually wind yarn for projects is...
You should do that while you're here.
Yes, that's why I brought all of it with me.
We have the new thing. It's all fixed.
One, to show Jen and to show you guys what this Avino project is going to be, but also because it needs to get wound, and clearly I'm not doing it at home. So even though I have an entire winding station set up at my house, so
I do too.
I don't even have to set up the ball winder and the Swift. They are already set up.
Yeah.
But do you think I could be bothered to go
down there and do that? Yeah.
No. But I got distracted with another project. Mostly because I didn't have to wind yarn.
Easy knitting project.
Also easy knitting.
But
I'll talk about that more in the
I've been pretty focused on one
section because I had to adjust on the fly. So
I've been pretty focused on one thing, so I want to get that sweater done so I can wear it in my travels. So we'll see. Should be fine. Looks like it. Oh, here we go.
Could almost leave it off.
Right, I think we should.
It's a little dark though. Let me. See, we didn't need a wavy thing. We just needed me to be the wavy thing.
I know, right? I don't understand why that didn't work the first 1,200 times we tried it.
I think it's the leaning back.
It's the angle of something.
The angle of something.
If I just knew where the little
sensor
thingy was, that would be helpful.
I know.
It's a smoke detector, but it looks like a sensor.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Well, should we get this show on the road?
We should.
We should. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.